So here's a Section B question from the December 2022 AFM exam. And what we're going to do in this short overview is just look at some of the challenges, some of the key points. It's not going to be a technical work through, however. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a publishing company, and we're given some details in the first exhibit in yellow. We currently publish mathematics and business studies material for schools. And we're thinking about moving into a new market, which is in green. I've used the highlighter function. This is a new area, and it's degree courses and then further plans for other courses later. And it's an investment that's being made in phases. If we look at the requirements, we can see that the marks are split reasonably evenly between calculations and discussion, with most of the marks in part A looking like they're probably going to be calculation, although an evaluation does involve judgment. And then in part B, we've got some discussion of real options. So key points in answering this sort of question. Well, first of all, in part A, when we're doing an evaluation of an investment, so here are the details in the second exhibit. Key point here is not to really attempt to get 100% of the marks, just to come up with a good professional answer. In any MPV, there'll be a sticking point, or there's likely to be a sticking point. In this one, we're given a 4-year time horizon. All the cash flows are in dollars. There are no exchange rates. And there's nothing here that's going to look strange until we get to the end of the question. And here we're told that there's another company that's in this market, and we're given their equity beta. Now, you will have come across this type of issue before if you've done financial management or you started on your AFM studies. And where we've got a company that's in a different business, we can use their beta, but we have to ungear it for their gearing, and then we have to re-gear it for ours, which is also given here. So we should be able to come up with a risk-adjusted cost of equity. To discount the project, we'll also need a cost of debt. And the cost of debt is given, or the details that we need for the cost of debt are given here. And what we're meant to do with these is to calculate the value of the debt using the discount factors in years 1, 2, 3, and 4, which are given at the bottom. That will give us a market value, and once we've got a market value, then we can work out the cost of debt, taking into account its market value, the coupon on the debt, and the redemption value. But it's quite possible that you're just stuck. On the day of the exam, it throws you. Very good exam technique here will be just to assume a cost of debt, and if you do that, you'll lose 2 marks, which you can afford to do. So when you're doing an MPV, yes, it's great to get the numbers absolutely right, but that's very unlikely under exam conditions. So now moving on to part B. In part B, you've got an opportunity to score professional marks for skepticism and for commercial acumen. Because what we're doing here is critically looking at real option theory. So when you study real option theory, it's not all about the numbers. It sometimes is. But you also have to be able to discuss the purpose and the drawbacks. And that's what we're being asked to do here. And it would be a real shame to come up with a general discussion, because the question says, with reference to TONPANTAU Co.'s proposed investment, and with a little bit of effort and thought, we can talk about the value of real options. So clearly here, if we're making an investment in phases, then we've got the possibility of abandoning if it's not working. So this is an option to abandon. It's a put option. It will have some value. And we've got an option to expand into other university courses and professional qualifications. And that's a call option, and that's going to have a value too. So Very simply, taking the information in the scenario, you can make your general points about the value of real options relevant to the scenario. That's how you're going to pick up good professional marks as well as good technical marks. So the first bullet point, the value of real options, and the second bullet point, the problems of real options. Those are the two classic areas for discussing real option theory. Very important to revise those well in your studies. And that completes this short overview.